I'm Robert Lefever, I'm the director of the Promis Recovery Centre. What we're hoping to do with these short clips is to help people to understand the nature of addiction and what can be done about it. Moving from primary care to secondary care. Primary care here in Kent is on an inpatient basis, and we have nurses, doctors, housekeepers, chefs, accountants, secretaries. We've got 63 staff down here. It's a very high rate of staff per patient. That's why it's expensive. But you can't run that indefinitely. You just run out of money. And therefore, we must have a facility where you have 1/3 of the cost, because you don't need the extra staff. People can get their own meals, they can make their own beds. They don't need all the paraphernalia that we have down here. They can just get on, but they still need the support, because otherwise they're going to relapse. We find that if we take people straight out of here, 1/3 relapse. And that's of people who stay, the recommended course of between 4 to 6 weeks. People who leave after 1 week or 2 tend to have a relapse rate, in our figures, of about 85%. They think, oh yeah, got it, that's fine, wonderful, yes, thanks, bye. And they go straight back and hit the source. That is tragic. Turning round the Queen Mary takes time. Turning round an addict takes time. It is not just a question of seeing the light and saying, oh yeah, got it. We need quite a bit of practice before we can actually live independently and do it on a day-to-day basis. It takes about 2 years to get step 1. I admitted that I'm an addict and that my life had become unmanageable. It takes about 2 years to do that. Now, why don't we keep people in treatment for 2 years? Answer, it's not economic to do so. And people will become institutionalized. We're completely inappropriate. But we know that we're letting people go from here before they're ready. But that's not the point. What we're trying to do is to get them to the stage where they have sufficient independence, sufficient understanding, to be able to move forward into the next phase. Because after secondary care, they've then got to go and hit the rooms, Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Overeaters Anonymous, whatever, as a continuing dependency. It's reckoned that 4 to 6 weeks here is the equivalent of about 2 years in Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Overeaters Anonymous. You save about 2 years of the time it takes to really come to terms with the fact, I really am an addict and my life has become unmanageable. There are people who are able to do it in the rooms. Alcoholics Anonymous reckons that their recovery rate is about 30%. Narcotics Anonymous reckons that their recovery rate is about 5%. It's not good, but it can be done. Now, the recovery rate here, people who stay the full course of 4 to 6 weeks, is 65%. And it's not my figure, it's not come from my marketing department, it comes from the University of Kent, who do our monitoring, the outcome studies on a continuing basis. So that's where it's come from. I wish that there was a magic bullet. But look what it would do if there was. Supposing we had stereotactic surgery and took out the bit that was damaged. Well, we'd lose the potential for what that bit actually really did before it got diseased. Supposing we had a magic pharmaceutical intervention, you could give the new wonder pill and it would sort it. Again, what a wonderful thing. Except that you would lose what that part of the brain normally does. I want my feelings. Meg gave me a delicious supper last night. It was lovely. And we were sitting out in the garden, just having our supper, and the cats were around, and the dog was chasing the cats, and the birds were in the trees, and there was a bat. Yeah. It was a lovely, lovely evening. I want that. I'd spent 3.5 hours yesterday afternoon writing a medical report. I have got better things to do on a Saturday afternoon. It was a beautiful day. But I had no choice about it. I had to get it done sometime. So I chose to go to my hammock and lie there with my dictaphone. So I got half of a good day. I got a physical good day, even though I had a mental rotten day. But then after that, had a lovely supper, and on we went. I want to be able to feel the negative and the positive. I want to have all of that. But if I try it too fast, I lose the whole lot. If I try just to grab it in primary care, and then not really bother about secondary care, and not bother at all about the fellowships, I won't get any of it. I won't get any of it. I can't run away from my addiction. My addiction goes with me. My name is Robert, and I am an addict. I am an addict. I haven't used addictive substances and processes for 21 years, but I am still an addict. I'm still short-sighted. It's no big deal. I'm short-sighted. I do the things I need to do, put on my specs. I survive. I can function. And I see my addiction in exactly that same way. Now, the purpose of going from primary to secondary is to become progressively less dependent, more autonomous. There is a time when we need to move on, because otherwise we become simply part of the dependency culture. We become simply, another number, another cog in a wheel. And that's not what I want for myself or for anybody else. I want a graduated, step-by-step process of becoming less dependent as one is capable of becoming, and then moving on to be interdependent with others. I will never be on the island by myself. I need to be interdependent with other addicts, otherwise I don't get well.